Hi, welcome to a quick version of the S-World Spreadsheets index video. For the longer version, see video 38. Common use spreadsheets, part 1. Second. This is the index to all the books from 2011, 24,000 pages. This is History 1. This is tax symmetry, POP dimensions, 87 quintillion histories. That's the end of the common use spreadsheets. Now we go to part 2, history free spreadsheets, the history that is currently being written about. This ends with 1% of GDP for Malawi in 2080. This is the cash flow made by that network each year going up to 2080. This is how the cash flow is allocated to special projects. This are some figures that give us the amount of people employed, how much they'll be paid. You know, people in paid education, how much they're going to be paid, what the cash flow is, how many companies. Very important sheet. This is net zero dynamic comparative advantage from book 3. This continues that, and we're at part 3, history 2 spreadsheets. This is the most fun spreadsheet and is special because it includes recessions, and when we have recessions we see input come down in some cases to literally nothing. I can't find the example. Anyway, input goes down to literally nothing, but cash flow still manages to rise. This is the controller for this, and note, after history 2 gets to our 1% of global GDP at 2050, and what I did afterwards instinctively is then just stop it at a certain amount and freeze it using E and S to manage that. And this is very much in line with Kate Walworth and Donella Meadows, and there has to be enough principle, which is the last chapter, I believe, in the 3rd book, the why. Okay, 1 second, let me just get a sip of water. History 4 spreadsheets. These are spreadsheets that are the next spreadsheet to be made. I'm just preparing them. This one covers 20 to 24, which hasn't been covered before, and this one is ready to go, hopefully. Kate Raworth and Steve Keane, Lee Shanzen. Hey Lee, how you doing, man? Okay, some information on, I think it's investment information, ROI, spend 27, get C company make 154. This is from book 2, and it's about Villa Secrets scenario 8. Okay, part 5, bathtub history. This is from book 2 and book 3, and I think I've got some pictures of those little bathtubs to make you, yeah, here we go. These are the bathtubs, and let's have a look at that last bathtub I've made. Okay, and let's have a look at the spreadsheet, which does the same thing. This is showing the Sienna equilibrium, how everything flows from one set of companies to another, and back and forth and back and forth, and you can see it goes like that. Same principle here, drawn graphically. Okay, part 6 is Sienna equilibrium. This is what we're trying to work out here. Sienna equilibrium is when you've got all the different companies and they spend their money, government, etc. takes tax symmetry. At the end of the day, everyone ends up buying from each other. The other thing we work out is what's called the CFV, the cash flow variable, which we find here 66%, and on the Sienna equilibrium 7 it's 47%. In general I use 50%. V7 software. Okay, this is how I want to create the software. So we have a default, or people can change the initial variables for various factors. Okay. This then makes these figures appear here in purple, and we can change any of these. This is particularly useful for playing with E and S because it takes a long time to make one of those histories by hand, maybe a day, maybe more. This way one can do it in minutes. And we have exports, sales, aid, cities, projected cash flow, what's virtual education, healthcare, angel wings, solar power, electronic cars. There's houses here somewhere as well. This tallies up with this spreadsheet, with the purple would change these, or one could then go to this spreadsheet and change it. That's the software. That's a version of the software, sorry. Trade model. What we're seeing here is my spending being your income, and from your income, tax, labor, and revenue after loan end up becoming my spending, and buy these things, which then again trade, become your income. Paul Krugman, yes, Paul Krugman, and Paul Collier are very much the inspiration for that spreadsheet. There's 3 different versions of it. Lastly, we have the very first version of Res, where instead of going down and counting the years, we go to and counting the spins, we go to the right and count the spins, and that ends up there creating the various figures. Very old one, but essentially the same idea done in a completely different way. Also got the same figures. So I've really done a lot to try and break this, and I haven't managed to. Lastly is just some rough costings on solar power. Okay, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Hope you get into it. Okay, thanks. Ciao.